Release the Kraken!
Welcome back, fellow game designers. In our last video, we went ahead and made Jill's arm, and today we're going to make her hand. So let's go ahead and jump on in. First up, let's make a cube here. And I will move the cube about hand level, so out. Go to my front view here, and I'll move that up. Get it good in the center. I'll go into my polycube settings. Let's go ahead and set the width. I'm going to go to a top view for this. So the width, let's go ahead and do that. And I'll move it about center. Let's do the depth. And then from our front view, we can do the height. About like so. Go to my perspective view, I'll hit F to frame. Okay, so here is our rough hand shape. And we need to cut in some spots for the fingers. So I'll go over to my subdivisions here. And let's do, let's go across the depth here. So middle mouse and drag. And I need 4 slots, like so. And then I need 1 cut going across. So I'll go ahead and do a width cut, like so. And I'll take these faces here. And I'm going to scale to the side to go ahead and try to square them off a little bit. All right. And now we're going to extrude. So I'll hit the extrude button. I'm going to go ahead and pull the blue arrow. And then down here on our extrude panel, I'm going to go down to where it says keep faces together. I'm going to click the button to turn that off. And then I'm going to hit the little blue square right here. I'll hit that. And then I'm going to come over to the blue square in the middle. I'm going to click and drag. That's going to separate our fingers. Fancy. Let's jump up into a top view here. Okay, so I'll go into vertex selection. And let's start tuning this up. So the pinky is going to be the shortest finger. So I'm going to go ahead and just move this back. The middle finger is the longest finger, so I'll pull that forward. And that looks pretty good. Let me take the index down some. I'll take the ring finger down some. And every hand is different. So if you look at your own hand, you might see a different arrangement. So mine, my index and my pinky are pretty close to length. My ring finger and my middle finger are almost the same length, right? But on this hand, you can see they are a different angle. See that? So every hand's different. So you should check your hands and see what you got. Thickness. Your first 3 fingers are about the same thickness. These 2 are definitely thicker than these 2, but they're close. And then your pinky finger is the skinniest. So I'm going to grab back here and get these. I'm going to use my scale tool. And I'm going to middle scale to shrink the hand a little bit to make those thinner. And I'll move them back. And we can check where the knuckle position is going to hit. So if you look here, this knuckle rests higher, this one rests lower, this rests lower, and that rests lower. So I'm going to move this back, grab this one, pull that back a little bit, grab these, pull that back a little bit. Okay, that's going to give us about where the knuckles are supposed to sit. And I'll adjust the length of my fingers again. I'll get these back. That's pretty good. Okay, let me go ahead and check my perspective view. So I'm going to split the fingers and add some knuckles in here. So I'll go into my multi-cut tool. Go up here. And I'm going to middle mouse drag across to get the first knuckles. if I go into edge mode and just double click the edge, you can see that it grabs the whole loop all the way around. So what we're going to do is move the knuckle positions. So if you look at your fingers again, my index finger is a little bit lower than my middle as far as the those first knuckles. So this one, I'm going to move this up some. This one is going to be moved farther ahead. Now I double click that line, that way I can get all the way through. Okay. And I'll just position it a little bit ahead. My ring finger, again I'm double clicking, that's going to sit just below my middle finger. And it's about in line with my index. And then my pinky is just below that. Okay. You can base it off of your hand if you like. My hand is the one that's next to me, so it's handy. I'm going to grab my multi-cut tool, and I'm going to do a slice on the fingertips. And I'll do the same kind of deal. The positioning is going to be similar, so I'm just going to follow that. So double click, move this up to the middle of the fingertip. Same deal. Same deal, and same deal. Go ahead and just adjust the thickness of this finger. I think I can take that down just a little bit. Scale in, and I'll scale down. Okay. And I need to make the position for where those knuckles are going to sit. So I'll get my multi-cut tool and I will make a cut. I'm holding control. I'm just going to cut across the knuckle here. And I'll grab these 4. I'm going to hit extrude. I'm going to pull the arrow up. I'm going to turn keep faces together off. And then I will hit the scale icon, grab the middle scale, pull it back. That's going to give us a raised section for the knuckles. And if I view this, you'll see something like that. So here's my preview. Again, you can hit 3 to give you a smooth preview, or a 1 to go back to regular. Okay. And then for the thumb, I'm going to go make sure I'm in face mode. Grab the face on the side of the hand here. And I'll hit extrude. And I'll pull that out. And then hit the scale icon. And then middle scale, scale that back to make a spot for the thumb. And then we can scale this out. So your thumb is a bit tricky. You have one bend up top, an extension, and then that third bone is actually inside the hand here. So here's that third bone sort of in the hand. And we're going to pull that out, hit extrude, pull that out. And then we'll hit extrude one more time. And then pull that out. Let's go to the top view. And we'll check our angles and everything. So back here, I'm going to move this part of the hand. I'll pull that out. Let's widen these. And then I'll take these. I'm going to hit the rotation tool and I'll rotate. And I'll move that over to try to get that angle on the thumb. Let's go into our perspective view. And let's adjust the thumb knuckle here. So face mode. Go ahead and grab that. And you can see that our scaling widget is going to be awkward because it's set to world, but we're at an angle here. So to get an accurate scale, hold down the R key and then hold down left click. That'll bring up a menu. And the default is set to world. We're going to set that to component. And now it's in line with our object's face. We'll just scale that down. Okay. And then the length of the thumb is going to be about half the length. If you hold your hand up and put your thumb there, you can see it's about 3/4 of the length actually of your index finger. So from here, vertex selection, I'll grab these and these. And you can see that I'm scaling in the direction of the finger. And I'll just grab the scale and scale down. Get the move tool. You can also see that the move tool is in the direction of world. We're going to hold down the W key, hold down left click. We'll change this to component. And then I can just move that back. That's better. Okay. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and start adjusting this to make it look more hand-like. Because right now the knuckles are pretty thick. So I'll go into vertex selection, I'll grab these. And I'm going to go back into world. So I hit W, hold that, hold left click, go back to world. And I'll shape these. Get these. Okay. I think that's a good rough shape. And then we can start making a spot to attach back to the wrist. So I'll go to face selection, grab the faces on the back of the hand here. I'll go ahead and delete those. Okay. And then for the wrist, if you look at the wrist, your wrist actually gets thinner as it gets close to the hand, and it flattens off. So we're going to do that here. I'm going to get my multi-cut tool. I will add an edge loop to my wrist here, right about there. And I'll go ahead and start flattening this off. So I'll go into face selection, I'll grab this, hold shift, double click, that'll grab the ring. Hit my scale tool, and I'll just scale down to even off that wrist. And now I can start attaching. So I'll go into object selection, grab the hand and the wrist. Let's go up to file. We'll do a quick save as, and make sure that we save this as number 5, just in case something breaks. Hit the combine tool, and let's sew the wrist to the hand. I'll get my target weld tool, and I'll just go from this corner to that corner. Looks good. Going across the hand here. And voila, we have a hand attached to Jill. Amazing. And then for the fingertips, we can go ahead and add a spot for the nails. So face selection. I'm going to grab the top of each fingertip. I'll extrude. I'll hit the scale icon and then hit the scale in the middle. Scale it back. Then we can raise that up just a little bit. And now their fingernail shouldn't have a gap here. You want that to be flush with the finger, or you can have it extrude a little bit. So I'm going to take the edge here, grab this edge, I'll hit W. Let's go back into component. So I'll hold down the W key, hold down left click, go to component. Let's see if we can straighten this out forward. Yeah, and I'll go back to world. I'll move that up just a little bit. That looks pretty good. I'm going to do the same thing on these. I'll grab this one, this one, this one, and that one. Hit W. Now these are all pretty much world oriented, so that's probably okay. And I'll just move these forward. Looks pretty good there. Let's grab all of the fingertips. So vertex selection, I'll grab all the fingertips. So this one, and then this, and that. And we will scale down. So hit the scale tool, hold down R, hold down left click, make sure we're in world. I'll just scale. I'm going to go around all the fingers and kind of do the same thing. So I'll get these. And then I'll scale down. And I'll get the sides. Scale that down a little bit. So they're at a bit of an angle. Because our fingers, they taper. They're pretty consistent and then they get a little bit smaller. Okay, and then for my fingertips, I'm going to go ahead and just make the nails just a little bit higher. They're kind of cramped there. Okay. Okay, and then for the fingernails, to give her a little bit of nails, we can go and grab the front of each nail. So just make sure you're in face selection. And I'll go and grab these. And then hit extrude. Now this is going to extrude at a bit of an angle. So what we can do, go ahead, hit the W key, and get a straight arrow. I'm going to go over to this one, and I'm going to deselect it. Hold Control and then click it. That way that one is no longer selected. But these ones should be good and straight, and I can pull the arrow to straighten out those nails however far you want. You can give her some really, long nails. If she's extra special, like fancy, or we can give her some short nails, whatever you think is appropriate for her. And then on this one, hit F to frame on that. You can see this is going to come out at a weird angle because it's set to world. I'll hold down the W key and then hold left click, go over to component, and we can pull that one out. However far you think is good. And if we preview that with 3, you can see what it would look like. Not too bad. Okay. A little bit of cleanup I want to do on the arm just to finish this up. I do want to widen this shoulder, so I'll come into here. Go to edge selection. I'll double click this edge. Hold W, hold left click, go back to world selection just to reset that. Then I'll hit the scale tool. Just make sure that we are in world scale. And I will scale that out. F to frame on it. There we go. A little bit nicer there. Your arm, I don't know if you can see, but the arm is actually pretty flat here and here. It's not super round. And if you have big bulky muscles, it's going to be wider than if you had tiny baby muscles like mine. So I'm going to take a look at the arm here. I'm going to grab these front faces here. And these ones, kind of move them out a little bit. We'll make her arms look a little bit more muscular than my little baby arms. Get the back of the arm. Pull it out just a little bit, just to widen it. It looks better. And I think I'm going to narrow down this shoulder section. So I'm going to go into vertex selection. I'll get these vertices here. So this is the connection for the shoulder, for like the upper arm. Here's the bicep. I'm just going to slide those back. That way we can get more bicep. And I'll grab the center of the bicep here. And I'll slide that back. To get more definition on that bicep, I'm going to add a extra cut right here. So right about there. And then I'll do one just on the forearm, right about here. And I will put one more slice in that wrist. That's going to help the wrist when it starts to bend. And I'll do one on the outside of it. Okay, and I think that does it for this video. In the next one, we will start working on Jill's face. So save your work, stay tuned, and I shall see you next time. Hey guys, thank you for checking out my channel. Misty and I both thank you. If you enjoyed that video you just watched, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Or if you want to support the channel, check me out on Patreon or pick up one of my books, Life and Times Dinah Marton or The Guardian's Path of Ascension. Speaking of which, I'm converting The Guardians into a graphic novel / comic book series. Here is a sneak peek. My wonderful artist, Patrick, is doing a great job. I'm excited. I want to push this out as soon as possible. So definitely keep your ears and eyes open for that. I'll be making announcements as we get closer, and I'll post some shots of that as we go. And if you want to follow me on social media, you can check me out on Twitter. I guess now it's X. Who does that? It's BruceRF1 at Twitter, or at whatever the new thing for Twitter is. Anyway, hopefully see you there, and I'll see you guys next time.